Shalom. We start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, B'chavodash. I want to say double honors to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. This is Ra'ab Ahmad for the Nebraska camp. This is GMS in Fort Nebraska. Yeah, man, so this is more of a land back off of, or a reply to Apostle Gabar's video. I forget the name and title, but it's like the seven traits of being a stoic type of deal. And one thing that he mentioned was purpose, man. Purpose. What's your purpose? Okay, so very important question, man. So going to the etymology of the word purpose as a noun, it says intention, okay, aim, goal, okay, proper function, an aim, intention, to put forth, all right, to put place, all right. So within that, we have to, the main thing, and it's like I want to get the verb as well. Purpose is as a verb to put forth, to intend, all right, to design, to intend, to do something on purpose, okay. And one thing is you gotta have direction, okay. So one thing that I was often told, like, just because you're moving don't mean you're getting anywhere. All right, just because you're busy don't mean you're getting things done. Okay, you gotta have purpose, you gotta have intention. You gotta do things with intention. All right, because you could be running in circles, 1,000 miles, but not getting anywhere. Okay, that's fruitless. Okay, so within this walk, we have to find what our purpose is. Well, where you belong at, what you need to do with it, what's the standard, and it's not hard. It's just that if you don't know what you're in, then how can you locate your purpose? Okay, you got to know what you're in. You got to know who you are and what you're in. You can't have a delusion of grandeur. You can't have a delusion about who you are. All right, you got to live in reality. Okay, you got to live in reality. All right, I am who I am when I'm in this moment, and also there's what I do with what this moment is. Okay, now the ultimate purpose is what? Salvation. Okay, so you're supposed to do things with the intent of getting salvation. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, do my actions reflect me getting salvation? Now, that is the overall, like, everybody should have that type of purpose. But you got to take the road to get to the interstate. You know what I'm saying? You have to take the road to get to the interstate. All right? Even within that, hey, I'm not going to take so many stops. I'm not going to get all this food. I'm going to do this, So, with that being said, you can't, it's not a good thing. I'm not going to say you can't, but it's not a good thing just to live day to day and just take it. You know what I'm saying? Just going off an impulse every day and trying, being a godly man within it. You got to wake up every day with some type of intent to get things done, some type of intent to produce and be or establish. Now we don't have control of the day. We don't, we ask the Lord to give us this day our daily bread, and things like that. Being content for the things of today. I'm not saying that you boast of tomorrow, but you need to be prepared for tomorrow, and you have to be a pilgrim to understand that, everything that you plan is not going to go your way, so it's no reason to get frustrated or upset, all right? So, like, what is your purpose, all right? So let's get some precepts within that, man. We're going to go into 1 Corinthians 10:31, it says, whether therefore you eat or drink or whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of Yahweh. All right? Do all to the, whether you eat or you drink, do all to the glory of Yahweh by Shem Shai. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not just talking about eating and drinking. It just tell you the base fundamentals, man. All right? So, when you're, you know, like I said, I have a bunch of dynamics I deal with outside of the gospel. But I use those different dynamics, i.e. me coaching and boxing, me dealing with my family, and I have intent. You know, even with my children, I have a purpose. You know, like they say, is either you're present as a father or you're just a father that's present. Okay? That's a father that's present is a father just living without a purpose. But when you're present as a father, that means you have intent on, you know, intent towards your child on how to raise them. So you're showing them certain things, you're raising them, they're waking up at a certain time. There's an intent to it. All right? You're not just, it's morning, time to wake up. Oh, your stomach's growling, time to eat. It's no. We're going to learn discipline. You're going to eat this. We don't eat this anything we want. I know there's laws, but the Lord is regulating that. But if you want your child to, you know, I don't want you with all that sugar or, you know, blah, 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 with the whoop. You get what I'm saying. There's a bunch of dynamics, you know, that you have. Okay? So, let's continue on. It says, Romans 12:1, it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable sacrifice, or it's like a reasonable service. All right? And that means what? Pretty much, you know, that's that the Lord is giving us intent. Okay? But again, you gotta get up off we have to get up off our tail parts and find out what our purpose is. You know, and your purpose is really not hard to find if your head isn't in the clouds and you're just wandering around, milling about, doing things how you want to do them because that's what you're comfortable with. Okay? Sometimes we get good at things and we become complacent. All right? An idle mind is a devil's playground, man. You know, and the spirit is like the wind. The spirit is never stagnant. So you're going to miss the beat if you're not paying attention, man. Okay? But when you're doing things with intent, you can rate it if you did good or bad. You know, if you don't have no intent on something, you could just say the attempt in itself was good. Okay? If I sit there and say, okay, I need to not eat meat because I want to clear out my bowels or get my gut health clean. Or I'm not eating red meat because I want to have better arteries. Okay, I'm not going to eat red meat. I'm not going to eat, you know, take butter, things like that because I want to have better arteries. All right? You know, lose weight. But not just lose weight, but because, again, if you say I just want to lose weight, then you have no purpose. You could just, how much weight? You know what I'm saying? You got to get specific when you have a purpose. You know, in my opinion, me speaking as a man, you got to be real specific so that way you hold yourself accountable, just like the Lord. He don't say don't eat the bad food and eat the good food. That's not upon your discretion on what's bad and what's good. Okay, and when you're being so general, don't eat this, and don't touch this one. Okay, because it is an abomination. There's a distinct direction. And that's another thing that's helpful. Yahweh Shem Shai's laws show us how to establish purpose. Okay? So again, you have to have intention about what you're doing. You have to have a set goal. You have to have a set direction. You have to have these type of energies. Okay? So I'm going to continue on. It says, Proverbs 19:21 says, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. Okay? So, like the scripture says, a man think of many things. His mind, want to tell him many things. Okay, but the counsel of the Lord, and you gotta have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He's gonna give you direction. Okay, he's gonna give you direction. But that video was off the chain as far as self-examination. From going to bed early, getting up early. All right, you don't just get up and watch cartoons and watch your favorite show. What you gonna do with that extra time? Okay, you need quiet time. All right. If you're dieting, why are you dieting? All right. To be in good health, because that gives you direction and purpose on how you're dieting. All right. So if you're dieting to clear your pineal gland, then that requires certain foods you ingest. You can't just go on a pescatarian diet or intermittent fasting. You gotta eat, if you have purpose, because everything ain't for everybody at the same time. Intermittent fasting is good, but why is it good for you? All right, the pescatarian diet is good, but why is it good for you? Okay, do you have gut problems? Do you have, it goes on. You could just do the diet because somebody told you to, and you're just doing it. And some people just are good listeners, you know. But you want to have some type of intent about what you're doing, and eventually the Lord will give us intent. You know, He will force it upon you through health problems. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got infirmities, and so I eat with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of myself first, I eat with a purpose. Me in particular, I do more of a pescatarian diet. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because it's good for the arteries, it's good for the blood flow. And then once you start learning about that purpose, and then you start establishing it, you're like, oh man, what about my gut health? Okay, oh shit, well, what about my, and you dig and you learn and you start, getting more sound and getting more wisdom and understanding towards these things. Okay, you're not just telling people, okay, I did it, it worked for me, this is what you should do. Okay, you become have a better understanding on how to get people from point A to point B and get yourself from point A to point B. Okay, you'll know how your body feels. Oh, I need to start doing this more. And secondly, you'll know your purpose based off your lot. Your ass got heart problems, i.e. myself, you know what I'm saying, or problems around that area, cardiovascular problems, really, shit, 99%, 99.9% of America's main health problems is cardiovascular because of the food, okay? Because of the food. Most people don't even know the stuff the process of a clogged artery or cardiovascular problems. The sedentary lifestyle, okay? Eating sugars that don't break down properly. You know what I'm saying? Preserved sugars, pretty much you're just dumping sugar on top of sugar, and you don't have to work to break it down. And your body, like eating an avocado or eating an orange, your body has to work to break that down. Okay, but if you drink a soda, okay, because the law don't speak against that, you know what I'm saying? Then it's gonna go straight to your bloodstream. You're gonna have health problems. You're gonna be like, oh man, this is Satan, man. Nah, man, because you're not eating with a purpose. Okay. You're reading, you don't know how to put things together because you're not reading with a purpose. All right, man, I'm about to read. I'm about to go over, you know, the kingdom of Babylon. I really want to know about the Chaldeans and how they came about. All right, that's studying with a purpose. Okay, and the more you do it, then you can, just imagine you just go over the Chaldeans. You learn that, they were into all the astrology and the stargazing. You start realizing the guys that came out of there and how those guys interchanged with the Assyrian Empire and then ancient Babylon with Nimrod and all these other things. And it gives you direction. Okay, purpose gives you direction. All right, because again, you could run around in a circle and do 1,000 miles worth. All right. But you could travel from California to New York. Your ass could walk around in a circle for 1,000 miles and still be in your living room. didn't see nothing, didn't experience anything, just to say, wow, yeah, I walked 10,000 miles too. It's not the same because you ain't walk with a purpose. Okay? Walking with a purpose determines your pace. It determines, you know, how you walk. So within this truth, we have our lots. Again, you could be a camp head. You could be a sergeant at arms. You could be a treasurer. What's your purpose? As a treasurer, what's your purpose? Okay, it's clear cut. It's a great it's an easy foundation. Not say a great foundation, but an easy foundation to say, okay, my job is to manage the money. Okay, so you're supposed to magnify your office, as the scriptures say. All right, how do you magnify your office? That's when you started getting into your purpose. You know, okay, this is what I'm here for. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna find my purpose within my purpose. Okay, I'm a treasurer. Let me make sure the money's coming in, being dished out. Let me make sure that we're managing our finances well. Okay. Same thing with, if you're speaking on the highways, you're a speaker. You're supposed to make sure your speech is fluent, speaking with a purpose, and you start realizing how difficult are the shortcomings of your nature. Just like me saying, all the time, that I still do it, and I do it a lot, but the intent of doing it brought it to my mind and showed the like, damn, I gotta work on this, man. Cause I can't find, this part when I'm thinking. When I'm trying to find the words, then I think. Then it's like, oh, I gotta be more prepared to, establish my thought process. And then when, you start paying attention to it, then I start realizing, hey, when I'm angry, it just comes out. There ain't no us, because why? I'm spilling what I truly feel. Okay? So within this concept, you start realizing, okay, this is something I need to work on. I'm not going to sit there and walk around angry and purposely slap myself up just to make sure I teach it direct, teach it without, teach it with fluidity. No, I'll prepare myself. And then I'll go over things that really concern me or I really know about. Okay? Now that doesn't happen all the time, but that is the purpose. Okay? As a man of the Lord, as a camp head, okay, we need to be more structured. Okay? We need to, there's a lot of things you can do. We need to establish order. Okay? We need to be more efficient. And then you go into how and why. Okay? Building up your study habits, building up your brotherly love. Okay? Reading with a purpose, how you connect your books next to each other. Going from, Maccabees to Daniels or Jeremiah, and have a purpose to that, not just spinning your Bible and just opening it, and it's now, I'm going to say this because it's not, you got to get this understanding. Going off of the Spirit can, is not the same as, not truly the same as moving with purpose, I would say. Because the Spirit is like the wind, all right? It goes wherever it listens. There's no, can't say there's no rhyme or reason, but it feels like that. You're not setting something up. The Spirit is just to tell you, hey, do this, do that. But that is it. Yahweh Shem Shai does always have a rhyme or reason. So if he's coming in the Spirit, then he's providing you purpose. But the point is when you start labeling everything as going off the Spirit, that's the Spirit, that's the Spirit, you're just winging it after a while. Okay? There's a big difference between going off the Spirit, making adjustments, and you just waking up with no direction, no nothing, and you was like, well, the Spirit wanted me to wake up at 12 noon a day instead of 8 a.m. because this is the time I woke up. The Spirit wanted me to eat this or that because that's what's available. No, you're supposed to put things in your refrigerator that you intend to eat. Okay? So you can't, what's the word? What's that word? Use the spirit as a cop out. All right? A man has to have some type of intent about himself. Okay? If I work out, some people do full body workouts. I don't do full body workouts. I do boxers workouts. I do things to punch harder. You know? Because I'm doing it with a purpose. I coach. So I got to figure out, I got to study to learn how to develop certain punching motions and footwork and things like that. So my type of exercise is different from a bodybuilder's or a jiu-jitsu guy. Hip mobility and all that comes into play. Okay? When you're talking about, jiu-jitsu, things like that, looseness, okay? You gotta have these things available to you, and you will never discover these things unless you do it with a purpose, man. And that's what I really just want to expound on, and see if we get one more precept, and then we'll close out, man. We're gonna go to Ephesians 1:11 through 12. Okay. It says, in whom also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestined according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will. So the Lord give us a foundation of purpose, but within that foundation, you got to establish your own purpose as well. You can't just be sitting here with your hand out. You got to get up and, who was that, man? He said, when people call me, in his messages, he asked them, do you add, subtract, or multiply, or division? Okay? To add is you bring ideas to the table, or you're adding to it. All right? Because when you're building on another man's foundation, you got to be careful how you build thereon. Some people just happy because they are part of the team. Okay? And you don't have a distinct reason why you're there. Some brothers are just there and they're just going along to get along. And you wonder why you don't grow, you don't develop, because you don't travel. Because you ain't even know you had to travel. You didn't even know where to travel. As the scripture said, man that traveleth knoweth many things. And we'll get that scripture as well. Okay. Verse 12, it says that we should be the praise of his glory, who first trusted in Yahushua. Okay. So we're going to get this next verse that I referenced in the book of Sirach 34:9. It says, a man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. There's only one way to travel. You got to travel in a direction. You got to say, okay, this is what I'm about to embark on. This is what I'm about to start doing. And this should get me from, I should be able to get this accomplished when I finish. And when you travel that road, normally it's an unbeaten road because it's something that you're inexperienced in. You will gain the experience. And it says, like, again, a man that have traveled, in Sirach 34:9, a man that have traveled knoweth many things, and he that have much experience, all right, will declare wisdom. And when you go to that word experience, let's see here. Experience, it says observation as the source of knowledge. Actual observation, an event which has affected one. Something you actually went through. All right. Experiment proof. Okay. So it's telling you here that the things you experience, all right, physically, not I heard about it, not my people told me about it, not that he say, she say. Okay. Your experience would declare your wisdom. All right. So it says, verse 10, he that have no experience knoweth little, but he that have traveled is full of what? Prudence. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was oftentimes in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. Okay, so when you get into, situations, your experience will get you out of jams, man. And everything ain't just like a care package on Call of Duty that just drops and that's a spirit just telling, giving you everything you need. Sometimes the spirit will tell you embark on a journey so you can learn self-discipline. Embark on a journey so you can learn focus. And you'll, through that journey, you'll learn tools to accomplish these things. Okay? It says, the spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear, nor be afraid, for he is hope. He is his hope. Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord, to whom doth he look, and who is his strength. For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong safety, a defense from heat, and a cover from the sun at noon, and preservation from stumbling, and in help from falling. Okay? And you have to be willing to get experience. But you have to have intent on getting experience, because if you don't have intent, then you're not going to understand what you're going through, which means you ain't going to understand what you're experiencing, because at the end of the day, we've been through a lot through our lives the older we get, but you really don't know, because you never had any focus on it. You never said, this is what I'm going to do. Everybody had technically exercised. You walk places, walk to the refrigerator. You do one single sit-up when you wake up in the morning, or a push-up, depending on how you sleep. Okay? But you got to have intent. You got to have purpose behind what you do to get certain things accomplished. Yep, so with that being said, we give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Double honor to our apostles who are elders, who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.